episode 524. How are you?
524, back for more. I had to. It was so fun. I'm doing well. Got a little bit of a throat tickle, so I feel like I have like one of those sexy truck driver voices.
Right.
Yes. If you could think of a sexy truck driver.
I mean, I've always been
Betsy,
envious of your, rich and robust
deep voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gets a little deeper when I got a little bit of a throat tickle, so.
Yeah. Who's the lady? I always forget her name. The actress that played Chandler's mom, dad.
Oh my God. I do sound like her. You'd think I had, I'm not, I didn't smoke cigarettes for years. She probably did, though.
Yeah. It was his mom. She was trans, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Oh,
but
Kathleen
not in
Turner.
real life, right?
Right. No, it's Kathleen Turner, and she's not trans in real life. Right. But, okay. Yeah, she always has that type of voice, and it always reminds me of you. Yeah.
Raspy.
Well, I like it, Sarah.
Raspy. Excellent word for the sound that it is. Like an onomatopoeia. Love that. Yep.
Yeah.
And fair for people who have raspy voices, that totally works. I like it. Like you say it, and it also kind of sounds like that. The one that I really feel like they were doing these guys a real, disservice with this, lisp. How unfair is that?
Yeah, that's cruel.
Cruel.
Yeah.
You're going to name the condition. Yeah. Something that people who have it can't pronounce. That's fucked up.
Yeah, they should have called it lick or something.
Oh my God,
you know
Susie.
I mean?
You know what? 500 and how many episodes? I'm glad we're finally getting to this because this is something that
finally, you've been waiting.
No, really. I feel like this is something that I've discussed, I've brought up many
at
times
cocktail parties.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how you have those ideas. Yes, exactly. And it falls into there along with, now I don't share this anymore, but I used to share it all the time. My favorite inventions that I think would be really successful. Yeah. I don't share that anymore.
Wait,
ever
why?
Since because what's his name stole my children's book idea.
You think these inventions are so good someone might steal them?
Absolutely, Susie. And if you heard them, and one of them already got invented. So there you go.
Wait, what's the one that already got invented?
You know what? I'm going to tell you, and then they bleep it out.
Oh.
Can we do that?
I guess.
Okay, here we go. Graduated brake lights.
I don't even know what that means.
When you step on them, they get... you see how hard somebody pushes on the brake in front of you, so you know how hard, if it's just a little brake, it's just one light. If you push really hard, it's all four lights light up.
I'm definitely not bleeping it.
Oh my God. I guess you can, because they already made it, but.
Wait, they did?
Yes.
Who did?
I don't know. Whoever some car people.
So you feel like brakes should, I do feel that way about horns. I want a mean horn.
Yeah.
A honk, and I want a nice honk. Hey.
Yeah, just me.
Yeah, okay. All
That's what it would sound like. Versus,
I see.
It would be like Susie's voice and Sarah's voice telling you right now. Yeah, that's so fucking funny. Yes. Susie would be like, excuse me.
Pardon me.
And I'd be like, hey, move it. Scram.
Stop it. Scram, beat it.
God, I'm done.
Oh, God. My stomach already hurts.
Oh, God. That is so funny.
I got to write this down. Sarah's invention.
Oh.
God, you're
making me giggle, and my cheeks already hurt, and I can't even get myself together.
I think it's so funny that you have, a list of inventions that you don't want to share anymore, but you also aren't going to invent.
Well, one of them, I think I actually might invent. In fact, oh, my God, who... I had an ex I can't remember which ex it was, but that was I'm all in. And was this week, yes, that said this is pitchable to Shark Tank. Because, yes.
Is it usually that people poo-poo your ideas?
No, people don't poo-poo them.
Oh, okay.
People are like, holy shit, that's a really good idea. Yeah. You should make that.
But this person was ready to invest in the company.
It's not a company. This one is an item. I'm making an item that already exists better.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're improving something. Okay.
I'm improving something, which, women are so good at.
Yes, that's true.
I
mean, half the stories we tell on this show about, where something was invented or how, it's usually, the wife of the person that got credit for it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, that's actually a pretty good segue into one of the first things I want to share with you, which is a fantastic documentary movie sort of thing that I watched, that I think you've watched too, called The Biggest Little Farm.
Yes.
Oh my God, Susie. I loved this.
It was a great film. That one's on Amazon, I think.
Yes. And you know what? I think it might even be on Hulu now too.
Okay.
Maybe. You can find it somewhere.
What did you like about
it? Or maybe on Netflix. Everything. So first of all, talking about like women inspiring ideas, this is about, so it's a husband and wife, and they lived in LA, and they had I don't even want to like spoil it, but twists and turns take them out, and like life situations push them to decide that they want to open up or run their own farm, that the best life for them, the life that they really want, would be a life that I totally agree with, living on a farm. And she is, he's a filmmaker. He's a DP in the film industry and does like documentary filmmaking and nature documentaries. And she is a private chef. And so she like really cares about where ingredients come from. And she said she really wanted a farm that had all of the ingredients that she would be able to use for cooking and was really like diverse. And she, they like did a bunch of research and met with people who were specialists in creating like a what would you call it? Like farm utopia, like how farming should be, like going back to the basics, which is a harmonious system that is almost self-sufficient once you get it running, like a cycle of life kind of thing. And the whole like chain.
Instead of fighting against nature to create what you want, you work with nature to make something awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here's some of my favorite parts.
Okay.
This place, the farm, is about 5 miles from my house.
No.
Yes! It's in my backyard, and I'm totally going to go visit. And they have, today, well, I'm not going to be able to go today because I'm not feeling well, but next week, the farmer's market every single Thursday here in my town, and I'm going to get food from them.
Oh my gosh, that is adorable.
It's the most adorable thing ever. So they started this farm. It's 200 acres. It's in Moore Park, California. It is, they have, I believe, 75 different types of stone fruit alone.
Wow. How
Those
many?
are like 75 different varietals.
Jesus, I didn't even know that was that many, period.
Right? Like different kinds of apricots, everything. And you just watch, like, it is an emotional roller coaster. It's like laughs. It's heartwarming. It's like stories of love and friendship and life and death. Also, it taught me, Susie, there's a lot of death on a farm.
That is for sure.
It really made me think like and don't you feel like she kind of pawned that off onto her husband?
Which I support thoroughly.
Yeah,
for sure. But I mean, I think it's good to be exposed to some of that because we do purposefully distance ourselves from the realities of like, meat or, food in general and what it takes to get it on your plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And, it is really important. I think even in watching that, I felt much better about, well, not much, but like good about my choice to have a more plant-based diet recently. And it was like, oh, that feels like, the right thing to do. And it just makes you love. I got so inspired to like eat fruits and vegetables after watching that movie too. I know that sounds silly, but like you just see how beautiful it is and just the whole process and how everything works together. And so many cool things like, just what's wrong with farming right now, how we've just we've stripped everything down and ruined the topsoil and how we've taken away all the nutrients. Like,
I don't understand why they keep doing that.
I don't either, Susie.
Like
because it takes too much work. You have to do it at a small scale. You can't do things you can't do it at a big scale.
Yeah, right.
Everything has to go back to a more, like, a smaller. The best was when all the bees came. So it was real funny. This is one of my favorite parts. When they first move, they first get the farm. The farm looks like a dust bowl. Like, it looks like a ghost town, so terrible. And they have a beekeeper come, and he's like looking at, because you got to, like, bees are very important. So he's like looking at the what do you call those things? Beehives? Those little boxes where they live, the hives. And he was like, oh man, like, this is bad. Like, they're all dead. There's, like, no life here. And then I think it was something like 7 months later, or not even that long later, after they got everything kind of running. And as soon as the plants came, and as soon as, like, the ground crop, like, what do they call that? Ground crops or ground cover crops came.
Yes.
The bees showed up in swarms. And the beekeeper comes again, and he's like, well, isn't this a night and day difference? I can tell you, the bees like it. And if the bees like it, it's a good thing. And I, like, got goosebumps all over. I was like, this is the best. And I was like, I want to put bee-friendly things in front of my house so maybe some of the bees from Apricot Farms can come to my house too.
Adam and I
so
watch Gardener's World every morning while we eat breakfast. And
what's Gardener's World?
It's a British gardening show. It is
well,
so
let
great.
me make note of that.
Yeah, it is so soothing and awesome. And you learn so much, like, about what plants attract bees and how to make sure, like, even birds, you should encourage birds to your space,
Yes.
all that stuff. You got to, like, put in
yes.
your effort too. They're doing all the work. So, like, you got to lend a hand.
Yes. And we need to, like, just, like, sit back and let them do their jobs.
Yeah, man. Don't stop getting in the way.
It's the cutest thing when I don't even want to spoil it. You guys, I'm not kidding. You need to see this movie. This is like visual antidepressants.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yes, thank you. And when you see some of the adorable ways that certain animals take care of the problem of other animals.
Oh yeah.
Like the ducks.
Yes. Like the Animal Kingdom.
I can't even believe it.
It's a real symphony.
It's so stinking cute. Oh, God. My heart just goes pitter-patter. And I just feel like I live amongst nature now, and it feels so nice. And it's, like, so fun to be, out in nature and then reading our book club pick, which is the Overstory that I picked this month. If you guys don't know about our book club or, like, haven't heard about it or aren't a member, you need to definitely join us because, first of all, sliding scale, free, like, join whatever price you want. And, like, it's, like, laugh and learn and so much fun. And so my book club pick, I'm just so obsessed with it already. And it's, like, all about trees. So it's, like, great. Nature everywhere.
Well, and another thing that's great, if I dare say, is the lovely service of Noom. And
yes.
we, in fact, in book club, so many of the members are also in Noom. And it is
they've like created their own group of like support group of it's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, like our book club is like a community. And truly, I mean, that's what Noom is trying to do too, where it's like they're going to give you the tools to make your life better, to hold you accountable with your habits, can help you shop for food or better understand your cravings and not seeing food as like a bad, certain foods as bad or sinful. And it's such a great app if you want. Well, we've been talking a lot about the power of habits, and that's sort of the essence of what Noom is doing, is trying to give you cognitive behavioral approach to changing your habits and making your life improve. We love science when it works for us. Start building better habits for healthier long-term results. Sign up for your trial at noom.com/braincandy. That's NOOM.com/braincandy. Change your mindset. I love it.
Yes. I know how many people on here love learning. And that is, you learn so much. I'm impressed with how much I'm learning on there.
Yeah.
I'm like, here I am over here like, I know everything. I'm like,
well, sometimes it's good for reminders, too.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. We talked about Biggest Little Farm. You definitely have to see that. Okay, so speaking of learning and things that maybe we need to learn a little bit more about, oh my gosh, I read the most shocking and depressing article. A study was done in the UK, a survey or was conducted for women who were already going to the doctor and getting healthcare stuff done. So they're people who are like seeking medical services. And they asked them a very simple question. How many holes does a woman have in their genital area?
Okay.
What percentage of people do you think answered that correctly?
God.
Susie,
Tell
ready.
Me.
Guess. I want you to guess.
I mean,
this is
I would have
crazy.
Normally have guessed, I don't know, 70%.
Try 46.
Oh. How many did they think we have?
46. I think most people thought 2.
Okay.
So people were asked to answer 2 parts. They were simply asked how many holes does a woman have in their private parts. And second, they were shown a diagram with 7 annotated structures. And then they were asked whoa, I don't know what happened there. Asked to label as many of them as they could. And they were also allowed to use like layperson's language, like, pee hole and bum hole. And those were acceptable answers.
Okay.
And only 46% correctly identified that women have 3 holes. Yeah.
Well, okay. What do you have the exact wording of the question? Like, did they call it the private area? Or
how
what?
many holes does a woman have in her private parts?
Okay. Well, do you think they didn't know that the butt was included? You know what I mean?
They said that the mentioned holes were vagina,
anus, they had to specify.
And urethra. Yeah.
Okay.
That 67% mentioned the vagina, which is like, what are the other ones mentioning?
Right.
Then 55% anus and 35% urethra.
Oh.
Yep. And the structures that were most identified correctly were the vagina, 71%. Identified that correctly. Anus, 67%.
67 only?
I know. What is going on, Suze?
I can't, this seems insane.
But the other part is the biggest confusion came from the urethra and the clitoris. Oh, my God. Right.
Wait. What did they think?
Oh, my God. So 73% of people labeled the clitoris. And 63% labeled it correctly, while 9% labeled it as the urethra.
Oh.
Of the 51% of the people who labeled the urethra, 51% labeled it correctly, and the other 49% labeled it as the clitoris. So people are very confused about which is which. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it is a confusing area. I think.
It is. And you know what? It's like, unless you've seen it and felt it, you would be like,
Yeah.
comes out of wherever.
Well, so do you think that a lot of these people just have never seen one?
I think a lot of these, they said that the article said that the biggest factor in this was education and age, and that the people who scored the highest, and this is in the UK too, but I would imagine it would be similar, that the people who scored the highest or did the best were educated, older white people, and the people who did the worst were people of color who were lower income and younger. And so this really shows that we need education in schools about this, about your freaking body parts.
Yeah, but okay.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought even if you were uneducated, you'd know a butthole. I mean, that's pretty
I think maybe
standard.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
that makes me sad for them.
It makes right. And one of the parts that I couldn't even believe, only 9% of people were able to identify all of them and label all of them.
Wow.
I can confidently say I could label all of them and identify all of them.
Yeah.
I would. I don't. You wouldn't
I've
even need
looked
to.
it up many times because I do find it fascinating to know like the proper names of that area.
Yeah.
But I guess if you didn't look it up and...
Yeah. It didn't take a mirror to your own, maybe.
Oh, my God.
The other part depressing. So a few more shocking things in this study. Not much of a difference between men and women in their ability to label the structures, which shows that we're failing on on educating everyone. However, the women were more likely to label the anus and vagina than their male counterparts.
Oh, thank God.
So when they're like, oops, sorry, I didn't know, maybe they actually don't know.
Who, women? Oh, men.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Also, there was a common misperception that the cervix was an external genital hole.
Stop.
Yeah. We're really failing in the teaching of women's body parts.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Who do you think should be doing that?
Schools.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought maybe pediatricians maybe could lend a hand too.
Oh my God. Excellent point. Yes. You know what? That should be like part, you know how like, well, no, it's like kind of like you have to have a driver's test to do that. But I feel like, yeah, there should be like it should be part of I think that we should have the right to know what's going on like we go into the doctor and we're just like, let me take off my clothes. Go ahead. Feel my stomach. And then they should like be actively explaining what they're doing as they do it. Oh my God. That's a thing.
Yeah. Because I would say parents should do it,
too,
but
please.
We can't depend on them.
And also let's put it in the hands of the people who have the education. Hello. Oh my God, Suze. I'd like to put this on the list of inventions.
Well, another thing,
I'll credit you.
When you do take your kid to the pediatrician, at least our pediatrician, they do say that thing of like nobody should touch your privates except, your pediatrician or your parents. But like, I feel like they also need to mention like, and it should be like, there should be a good reason. Because, parents, as you know, sometimes
100%.
Yeah. And even pediatricians.
Yes.
My sister says she was felt up by her pediatrician.
Oh my gosh, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, so I don't know, that just seems like a little bit of a broad stroke.
Absolutely. No, I think those kind of things should be taught. There's actually a law called Aaron's Law that's in place in California, and I more than half of the states, last time I checked, that says that age-appropriate sexual assault awareness or safe touch and unsafe touch is mandatory to teach in schools, yet that's not enforced anywhere, and they don't know how to enforce it.
Wait. Oh.
100% true. I used to speak with the woman who started it, named Erin Marin, and we went and spoke I spoke at the city of to the city council, talking about the importance of this program and the need for changes in the schools to enforce it and to create an actual curriculum and a program around it, and that it's age appropriate. And it's like people don't know how to create this or enforce it, so
they just don't do it.
But
one
the law is
thing
there.
That everybody should do is get a therapist and
yes, please,
share your feelings and concerns with a licensed professional. And now you can from the comfort of your own home with the help of BetterHelp. They have counselors who can help you with depression or anxiety, trauma, anger, anything that you are struggling with. They have someone who can help you. They have financial aid available. The service is available worldwide, and you can talk to the counselors from your phone or your laptop. So it's super convenient and less intimidating maybe than going into an office. And we want you to start living a happier life today. And as a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting betterhelp.com/braincandy. Join over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/braincandy.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love talking to a therapist.
Do you?
Yeah.
I do not love it.
What?
No, I do not love it. But I think it's good.
Maybe it's kind of like going to the gym.
Yes.
Afterwards, you're like, oh, yes. You never regret it.
That's true.
Yeah. It's going to the gym.
But like,
isn't it weird?
Before each appointment, I'm like, I'm going to cancel.
Oh, everybody. That is that pre-session anxiety. Yeah. Oh my God. In fact, like I'll sometimes think of like, I'll always be like 1 minute late because like, I'm like, do I really want to start? Yeah, that's totally a thing. Like for my own, so not with my clients, obviously. This is my own therapy that I'm talking about.
That's funny.
So with my own clients, I'm like, let's do this. I love it. It's the best. But yeah, everybody experiences that. Everybody like that, oh my God, what? And then that fear of like, what am I going to talk about this week? I don't have anything. And those are the best weeks because I say when the sun is shining, fix the roof.
Well, then what do? You say like, so we're going to talk about what?
It depends. Depends on who the person is. But, maybe recognizing what was different. If it was a good week, like what's different this week as compared to those other weeks. Mm-hmm. And then I think it's so important to, like I'm saying this like I invented this. This is like neuroscience and like, we're just like working with your brain here. That we so often play back and like rewind the tape and review the footage of anxious moments and depressed moments and sad moments and things that are uncomfortable feelings and things that we really don't want to be thinking about. And we like, there's a saying in neuroscience or it's saying if it fires together, it wires together. Mm-hmm. So the more you activate and fire those memories together, the more connection you make between those things and the more you embed that map in your brain. Mm-hmm. And we do not spend an equal amount of time on the positive stuff. We really never say, oh yeah, you're feeling like happy and joy. Like, what was that like? Where's that? Where do you feel like that? Let's talk about that. What makes you happy? We only, talk about the other stuff or not even talk about, but like play it back in our head as like this way of like, we're trying to, and it's our brain just wanting to be safe. And so it goes, oh gosh, don't do this. And then next time, like do this instead. And so it's doing all those things. But really we need to tell it to just like chill and enjoy the moment and remember what these good feelings feel like. Cause then it'll just start doing those.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
More of those things.
For sure. It really is just like that. You just have to like start recognize. It's like that stop and smell the roses kind of thing. You know, the more you change what you look at, the more you will start to see the things that you want to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just, a little bit of
Let's pretend like you did invent it, though.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take credit for it. But I'm sure I come up with an amazing, good metaphor that, like, is wonderful in some therapy session and, all that. Okay, let's see. What else do I want to talk to you about? Oh, God. This is terrifying. Oh, I don't know if I should even share this because I feel like I might
Is it that dumb glass pool?
Nope. Okay. That glass pool is a
AWH.
Mere,
that's what that is.
A mere puddle compared to what this is.
What?
Okay. This is a real thing that actually happened.
Okay.
In China, a girl was riding in an elevator.
Oh, no.
And she got stuck on the first floor. And there was something going on and she couldn't get the door open. And so workers came and they pried the door open. And as they did, they noticed that the elevator started to slowly shift up, and then all of a sudden it shot up like a rocket. 30 floors. And she died on it.
Sarah! She died?
She died.
Wait a minute. Why in the world would a malfunction like that happen?
Oh my God, isn't that fucking terrifying?
Yeah, because you can understand intellectually how it would fall 30 feet, like if the cable breaks or something. How the hell does it suddenly get a rocket engine? So
the crazy thing is that there's this idea that we should be worried about the elevator falling.
Yeah.
But it's much more likely that the elevator would hit the top floor
Why?
Because what happens is and what happened in this situation, first of all, rest assured, like, this won't happen here and you're okay, because they did go back and they didn't do a brake inspection recently. They hadn't done an inspection on, like, the braking system and the braking force and then the brake release gap, whatever the fuck that is. I don't know. I don't operate elevators. But what happened here is the brake lever snapped in two, and then the counterbalance shot down the elevator shaft. And the counterbalance is so heavy that caused it to go flying. Basically, there was nothing resisting it. Yep. So the weight of the counterbalance, they should put a fucking emergency brake on that shit. Can you imagine? And it took them, like, hours to, like, get her out of there.
That is hell, man.
I know.
Wonder what was making
I'll
it
take
stuck.
a glass pool any day over.
Why do you think
elevators.
It was stuck on the first floor? Like,
oh my God, that makes me so scared. I don't know. But the safety inspection that they didn't have any strength and safety testing of the elevator brake rods. That's what they said.
Good Lord.
Yep. And I guess the brakes were believed in the industry to be able to withstand huge amounts of force, but they
were wrong about that.
Didn't test it in the way that they should. So, and they, like, people who looked said they've never encountered this. It was like a freak accident that never happened.
Thing.
So
like,
don't worry.
That's the thing. This is so rare that this is big news, and that's a good thing.
Good thing. Right. You have to think about how many, it's kind of like when they say, like, the airplanes that crash make the news, but think about how many take off and land every single day. Yeah. And there's some comedian there who said, I can't remember who it is, but it's such a good joke and, like, true, that we should really just start applauding. Maybe it was in something I saw at, like, church, but we should start applauding when planes land and take off, because if we just switch the news to be like, good day, 5 million 5,000 planes landed and took off safely, and, like, let's give it up for, Southwest for
somebody put
no
up,
accidents. Woo.
I don't know if it was a meme or what, but it was just saying that the Wright brothers and the moon landing were only like 50 years apart.
What?
And that's unbelievable. Like, the amount of progress that was made between those two events is just enormous.
Wow.
I think it can feel like longer because part of the progress was in the ability to film and photograph things in a realistic way.
Wow.
But
really good point.
Good Lord. Like, I can't even believe we fly. I still can't believe that that's a thing.
Susie, every single time.
Yes.
I feel like I'm looking around to, like, connect eyes on the plane with somebody else who also is like, yeah, this is fucking crazy,
can you believe we're up
right?
Here?
Like, can you believe this?
Yeah.
And listen, I understand.
Yeah.
Lift, drag.
Yeah. We get the mechanics
I
of it.
totally get the mechanics. It just, I look around sometimes and I'm like, we wear clothes.
Yeah.
Like, it's like that, where, like, I see I'm, like, in nature. I'm taking my dog for a walk. My mom's here, so we got, like, the other dog, too. And, like, she's, like, a Costa Rican dog who, like, wants to just be wild and everything. And I'm, like, just looking at all these animals, and I'm, like, looking at us, like, holding this dog on a leash. And I'm looking at, like, shoes.
Shoes.
And I'm not stoned.
No, yes,
just,
but
like,
I love that.
Sober as a judge. And, like, I'm like, this is crazy.
Yes.
How did this happen? How did, like, I mean, and I get how. I get it. But it's just like,
that's the spirit I want to excite in people, and I want to inspire in people, because, like, you will never be bored if you really think about what the hell is going on every day. It's insane.
Insane. It doesn't make... And you know who we should ask about all of this, who probably could figure it out, is the little girl, Kashi Quest, I think her name is, who just, freaking 2 years old and just got inducted into Mensa because she has the highest IQ.
God damn it. I always hate those prodigies.
2 years old?
Those fucking assholes.
I'm so glad it's a little girl. Fucking assholes. She's like,
that's amazing.
About the little girl. Can you believe it? She's 46 points.
What's she doing? Like curing cancer or something?
Probably at 5 she's going to. Give her My first MRI.
A long time ago about how shitty it is when you're a prodigy and then you grow up
sure.
and like you're not anymore.
Well, I mean,
like,
I
a
didn't
lot of people know
experience
all
this
this
on a
happens.
full scale, but I think I experienced a little bit of this.
Really? Like you peaked too early?
100%. Because my mom says my biggest problem right now is that everything came so easy to me when I was little that now I have to actually like try and like that's
what
hard.
I'm saying. Yes.
And like, I mean, I never opened a book. Like, this is not Sarah like being braggy here. Like, I'm like that character from Royal Tenenbaums, where it's like she's like super smart, and then I just like peaked, and then everybody else caught up to me. But
Right,
and then
that
like
is
grad
what the
school, I had to
article
learn how
said.
to study. I was like, holy fuck, I don't know how to study. I don't know how to I don't know how to do this. I had no study skills in grad school. I had to learn them all on my own. And then I was like, everybody else around me was just as good.
Yeah.
And
This
then
is
my
why-
like best friend has a PhD, and I'm like, oh, okay,
No,
well,
this is why
fucking dummy over here.
I feel very thankful that I was always average. And that's why I say my son's average, and that's fine. Because it teaches you how to accomplish things without being extraordinary like you.
Here's the thing, too. It's only stuff that translates. Well, first of all, thank you, and not really. But I think we're all extraordinary in our own ways, for sure.
True.
And mine is just in a measurable, in a way that's measurable and
that society values.
Yes, that's it. Because my mom could absolutely tell you what made this. Like that. She'll be like,
when
oh,
she talks
I
about
did that. Yeah, I know how to do that. Like it's like you just like. I mean, she
basically made you do everything.
Stimulated my memory in a crazy way when and then when I read that book, What Happened to You, and learned that, what is it? A baby until 2 years old is creating, I believe it's 20,000 or 60,000 neurons every 2 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm sure I have that passage highlighted on our next commercial break. I'll find it and get
some
you the
of
exact quote.
some of the things in that book like freaked me out for that reason.
Freaked me out. And then they say as an adult, we only create 700 on a good day.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
you kept
holy
talking about
fuck.
that. I was like,
So you're learning everything at this. It's like the stuff that you can learn and the way that your brain is like function. Like, so just go crazy. This is why early childhood education is so important. You know what? I'm linking this back to our first part of the conversation when you said who should teach this. We need to be like also supporting early childhood education from like day one.
Yeah, and early childhood hugs and love and affection.
The most. That is part of the education.
Yeah.
Education on like,
on being a person and love.
Being a person.
Right?
Yeah, and it sounds like the mom and dad of this little girl are doing a really good job with that because they're in education, her mom's in education, and she said, she was like, I just noticed she started memorizing a lot of things, and so I just kept on putting stuff in front of her to, try to like keep her stimulated, and they couldn't find a preschool that could really keep up with her, so mom just started a preschool and now has 12 students there.
Well, and so that also bums me out about how that's so great for the child, but it's so lucky that she happened to have a parent that could do that. And a lot of like the excellent kids around the world who are underprivileged, they just, get a normal life. Yeah. Can't
because
live
it's
up
not
to their
like
potential.
What is the word? Dispersion of the IQ, like how IQ is dispersed amongst the population. There's some fancy word for that. I can't remember. It's not like, we just save it for like the, wealthy white families in the United States. No, it's everybody. Like, I feel like it's an equal, like you're going to have the same amount of people with a IQ over, 120 everywhere, right?
Yep.
Yes. That's how it goes. Equal distribution. That's it. Equal distribution of IQs across the globe. So, for sure.
But even like the testing of IQ is biased towards white, Western, blah, blah, blah. So like it's hard to even measure that.
Well,
but yes, logic tells us that.
Yes, logic, for sure.
Yeah.
Right. And as soon as we like, oh, absolutely, it's totally like that. I fell for a, while reading the article, it was like, that one of those like test your IQ links. Yeah. And so I clicked it, and then I spent 20 minutes doing the IQ test. And then they were like, for $5.99, you can know your results. I was like, God damn it!
No.
I'll tell you what, my IQ's high enough to know I ain't falling for that shit.
Right.
So I don't know what mine is, but I feel confident in my answers.
Yeah, I have no doubts.
Thanks, Sus.
You could have saved yourself 20 minutes. But I do feel like it's the
exact same as any one of. It's like I average as fuck now. I'm average intelligence, normal, totally. The only thing is I have that love for learning that makes it so you want to keep learning things and it keeps it going. That's it. And everybody listening has that too.
Yes, that's what I love about our brainiacs.
I love them. It's the best. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I had a little burp. Oh, excuse me.
Let it out,
I got to. Okay, so good news, bad news. We got elevator shafts. That's bad. And, little girls who are really smart. That's good. But this one, I don't know, maybe falls a little bit on the in-between. I binge-watched this like a crazy person. Like 6 hours in a row, Suze. Okay. I'm not proud of it. There's a new season. Do you ever see that podcast or hear that podcast, Dirty John?
Oh, yeah, I have heard of it.
Yeah, it's so good. And it took place in Newport Beach, like the real crime. So it was a podcast that was about a murder that took place, and it's like a true crime story. And it's like, a lover scorned kind of thing. And well, sort of. But they did a TV show about it that was so good, and they came out with a second season. And it is, same series, but a different true crime story. And it's called the Betty Broderick story. Do you know who Betty Broderick is?
No.
Does this? Okay, so she was on there. They were on Oprah, or the family was on Oprah.
Yeah, it rings a bell.
This became like a big famous thing. It was one of the most public
was she
divorces.
A multiple personality? No.
No, she was a woman. It was a family that, her husband and wife that lived in San Diego and had one of the most brutal divorces in history.
Oh, yeah.
And
yes.
It resulted with a double homicide where the wife murders.
Killed the husband and his new woman.
Yes. Oh, my God, I get goosebumps. Oh! But, oh, man, it's good. The whole story, like, he was totally gaslighting her. It's kind of like a whose side are you really on thing.
Right.
So she the first time this goes, and this is also before, I believe it's, I don't know, I can't even say this correctly because I still have one episode left, but I believe it's before laws about battered woman syndrome kind of thing.
Well, was he beating her up?
He wasn't beating her up, but there was definite psychological manipulation happening.
Yeah, because she was
you wouldn't believe.
Stay-at-home mom.
Yeah,
yeah.
And before when they first got married, so he started in med school, and he met her when she was 17 years old. They got married,
right?
And then had a baby right away, and the whole time she's working to put him through med school, and is like this devoted wife, and is like transcribing all of the all of his notes and all that, and then after med school he decides that he wants to go to law school and wants to go to Harvard, and so she supports him through that, and she's like now has like 2 or 3 kids and is like home taking care of and working all these jobs, and then he passes the bar and becomes a lawyer that specializes in malpractice lawsuits. So, and he's like the only MD who does this. So he gets a ton of money, becomes super wealthy, owns his own law firm, all this stuff. And he uses every single bit of knowledge that he has. It almost seems like he before he even says, I want to get a divorce or starts the motions of it, he was starting the process and learning what he had to do to get the most money, to basically bleed her dry. It's just really, you see one of those situations where he holds a lot of the power, especially financially, and that everything the rug ripped right out from under her. And as we're watching it, I'm watching it with my mom, and she's like, oh my gosh, dumb lady, like, I can't believe you did this. I'm like, Mom, I would do that. Like this, I felt like that when I got divorced. This is what it felt. I know that feeling of like, I want it almost like, you know, and her lawyer was like, you need to return my phone calls. And I was like, I know the feeling of not wanting to answer that phone call. 'Cause like, you know, excuse me, but it is really good. And it is, I'm kind of, I mean, I don't think you should murder your husband for sure. I think what she did was wrong. Absolutely. But
you understand the impulse.
I think somebody should have oh man, he just, so when so much of your identity is being a mom and being and he just took everything away. And like, what does somebody do? And
right. And then he met
really
this new lady. And basically, she was more of like what a doctor's lawyer's wife would be, right?
She was the receptionist at the law firm he worked for. And then with no experience, nothing whatsoever, he hires her. And she like can't type. She doesn't have a law degree. Well, that they make that like a point of you know.
Unqualified.
And, totally unqualified. Like they have her typing like the quick brown fox, like jumped over whatever. God. And like she like, can't do it. And then finally learned, you know, real like, you know, rags to riches story. Then, so she gets hired as the paralegal, and he hires her as his like assistant and paralegal for like the equivalent of an $85,000 a year job that she has like no qualifications for. Meanwhile, his wife is at home, like with the kids, like not able, like to make any money.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's like, and then he was just gaslighting her the whole time, telling her that she's crazy and he's not in this relationship. And the relationship that he had went on for like 5 years. And then they end up getting married. The same month that the divorce was finalized, then he gets married in like the same church, or like the same kind of church with like the same outfit that for their wedding, and then goes to the same place for a honeymoon.
Oh my God.
I mean, and then the girlfriend records the answering machine on the phone, and it's like originally she had like, she's kind of in a way kind of taunting her too. Like she re-recorded before they were even married. The girlfriend, at the time girlfriend, re-records the outgoing message on the husband's answering machine at their home, because this is like 1985 too when this is happening. And the answering message said like, "You've reached the Broderick family." And she's the fucking girlfriend who's saying it. So every time that the mom calls, she hears that, and it just sends her into a frantic. And he won't answer any phone calls. He won't like, you know, and he's like changing things with the court about like visitation, and you know she's supposed to have Easter, and then he like files something that says like she doesn't get that now, but she never hears about that because that, you know, he knows all of the ins and outs of the court systems and all this stuff. He even made it so every time she calls his house and leaves a message and uses any kind of profanity, he fines her $150 out of the spousal support check, and somehow that was okay. Wow. So at the end of it, she ended up owing him $750,000.
I remember the kids were on Oprah.
Oh my God, the poor kids.
Well, like they were adults by that point, but like, were they in the series?
Not the real ones. The actor, like kids, like people playing. Yeah, it's and the actors are great. It's Amanda Peet who plays her, and Christian Slater who plays him, and they're perfect for it. And he's so slimy and like the first few episodes, you're like, I don't even know who the bad guy is.
Yeah.
And I love things like that. But the fact that it's like real, and it was just the messiest divorce in history. And I really feel like, she got screwed by somebody who knew the system so well. Yeah. And then when she was in jail, and because she ended up getting a life sentence, or like 32 years, I think. And she got letters like crazy of people who were like fully in support. Like, this happened to me. This is, the system was used against me. Like, I mean, I even felt that a little bit. Of like just somebody who could, of like, I'm going to do this just because I can.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, that is, oh my God, it's just fighting a tough battle for.
So you'd recommend the series?
Oh, yeah. It was really, I mean, I didn't watch 6 episodes in a row for nothing. Still have one to go, and I'm like dying. It's going to be so good.
Oh my God. After 6 hours, you're like, I'm going to save the last one.
No, I fell asleep because, at 2 o'clock in the morning, I can only keep my eyes open for so long. And I was just like, I have no idea what happened. It's literally the last episode. I stayed awake as long as I could because I'm like, I got to know. And I bit off an entire fingernail.
Man,
so upset
Sarah.
about it. I know. I always keep it to just one because I'm like, I can't bite any of the other ones. So like I'm like, okay, I've got it's terrible. I really should just
Was it in the What Happened to You book?
Excuse me.
Was it in the What Happened to You book where it mentions that nail biting is common among sexual abuse survivors? Did it? Okay. I thought of you when I read that.
And like the little bit of, and like understanding why, that it's just like a little hit of like oxytocin or like that good. And it's like that just picking for just a little bit, it feels like it, and you become addicted to that.
Yeah. That
book tied with the Habits book.
Yeah, I know.
Which, by the way, we have an interview on Patreon that's so good, and you should definitely check it out. It just feels like I have like a deeper understanding for how the brain works, and I feel like once you have an understanding for how the machine works, you can operate it to its fullest potential. Like you can you can make it work for you. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of us are just running things on autopilot. Yes. Because that's how we feel like it is. And then we have to realize, like, oh, wait a sec. Like, I'm not my thoughts.
Yeah.
Feelings are just feelings. I am in control of this. Oh, wait, I can determine how I feel. And also, I don't have to care about how that other person feels.
Yeah.
That's a big one. So, I mean, you care, of course, but, like, you're not responsible for another person's feelings.
So true, Sarah.
That's a hard one.
You want to wind it?
Oh, my goodness, yeah. Wind it down. It's like the opposite of wind it up. You know that song? Wind it up.
No.
You never know the songs
Wait, but
I say on
is
here.
It? Oh,
and
is
then
it new?
No, it's, oh my God. You definitely know what it is. Oh my God. I can't remember. But, we're winding it down. So that's the only part I remember. Do, wind it up. Do, wind it up. That gives you nothing. Like, what is that even? And let me type in wind it up. Wind it up song. Okay, are we ready for this? Gwen Stefani.
What?
Yeah. It's about to wind it up. Wind it up.
Wow.
Wind it up. Okay.
I don't know it.
Yes. It's like start with that, like with yole, yole, yole. Let's see. Yeah.
Are you listening to it?
Yeah. Can you hear that?
No.
Oh, well, I thought I was playing it. Well, we'll see in the thing if I was playing a little bit of it. So it sounded really weird then if you were just sitting there in silence for a minute.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, don't you hear what's going on?
Hard.
Oh, no. I was playing Wind It Up. So that's either going to be in there or just be a weird moment of silence as we wind it down.
Today we found out Sarah has a lot of inventions in the pipeline.
Yes. So, I am using my brain to think and know a whole bunch of stuff, but the people in the UK don't know about how many holes you have. And
right.
I imagine that
they might have called it a pipeline.
United States don't do much. Oh, Susie with the jokes. Oh, that is so funny. We got terrified of elevators.
Yeah, but amazed by flight. I mean, we really had a moment of wonder.
Yeah, and you know what? Isn't that what it's all about?
Yes.
And And maybe if we just embrace more of those moments of wonder, we too can open up our brain and end up in
This
Mensa.
is what Fred Rogers said. Isn't it marvelous to marvel? Isn't it wonderful to wonder? Yes, it is. And it's awesome to awe.
My heart goes pitter-patter for that. I love that.
Mm-hmm. You got to keep
in
that
the same
with
way
you.
my heart went pitter-patter for the biggest little farm.
Yes, and all the bees.
Oh, it's so good. And I can't wait to update you guys on what their stone fruit varietals taste like.
Yes, I can't wait till you go and get their produce. This is very exciting.
Yeah.
Well, I want to encourage everyone to check out our book club and also the documentary club. Sign up for our newsletter. Check out our Patreon for bonus content, patreon.com/braincandy. Subscribe, tell a friend.
I can't wait till this month's book club. I can't wait to talk about trees with all of our book club
people. I feel like
people.
that every month. Like, okay, we have so much to talk about.
And my heart just feels so full afterwards.
Yes, it does.
Shout out to our book club peeps.
Shout out. We'll see you next time, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.